every day there are more questions, and we are getting no answers. And so I hope that the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons can start providing at least the basic answers to these questions, so that we're not all left speculating and assuming facts, not evidence, and then leading us down these rabbit holes.
Matthew Whitaker there, former acting Attorney General. Jail in New York City, where Epstein died about last weekend, is under enormous scrutiny now. We are learning that facility, quote, accidentally released a serial bank robber only days before Epstein was found dead. Jack Donson, former Bureau of Prisons case manager here in New York, and good morning to you, Jack.
Good morning.
Michael Matthews, age 58, wasn't supposed to walk free, and he did. How's that happen?
Well, first I'd like to say that this gets portrayed as another botch at the MCC New York, and what I'll say, that's far from the contrary. That feeds the narrative that this is a individual rogue facility making mistakes, when really somebody's released incorrectly because of the Grand Prairie, Texas. All the sentence computations are processed at the Designation Sentence Computation Center.
So they're getting an order from Texas?
Absolutely.
Sent to New York to set the guy free? What does New York say?
Well, what happens is they calculate the sentence there. The officials that used to calculate sentences at institutions are no longer working at those facilities. They rely on the accuracy of the computation from Grand Prairie, which is a bigger systemic issue.
Okay. Are we finding out that humans make mistakes and we need to accept that? Or are we finding that there is systemic issues with the prison system itself?
Well, I'm going to say two things. On that specific issue, computation mistakes are not uncommon. There's an Inspector General report within the last 2 years about early releases. So, but it is I'm not going to say they do not happen, and they happen for many technical reasons. But I am going to say the systemic problems, staffing. Grand Prairie's hard to staff. I spoke to the first administrator that ran that facility. He tried to actually recruit me to work there, and he basically talked about hard to find people to work in Grand Prairie. And you know, I could do a whole program on the staffing issues, but it's part of the whole broader picture.
You're suggesting there are issues. Eric Young was with us yesterday, President of Council of Prison Locals. You know him, right?
Absolutely.
This is what he told us on our program here.
Many people think that we are just turnkey, officers just sitting around waiting to go do rounds on a shift. To go look in an inmate cell to see whether or not they are actually doing anything nefarious. When you're down multiple officers, you're talking about officers that are literally working double shifts, 60, 70-hour work week. You got to take all that into consideration.
Go ahead and take that into consideration, and what do you conclude from that? Is the system overworked?
Well, first I want to say is that suicides can happen in a matter of minutes, and I'm trying to, again, switch the narrative from the bad officers that didn't do 30-minute checks, and that's the assumption, is he would still be alive. And I'm saying proper 30-minute checks could not have prevented that death. Now, if staff did not perform their duties as intended, and this will all come out, there's literally 4 different investigations that are happening right now, most people don't realize, but it'll come out. And if they did wrong, and they did not abide by their post orders. But it did. I still say it's the broader picture that Eric talks about.
Okay, 2 more questions then. 4 investigations. What are they in addition to what Bill Barr is doing?
You have the Inspector General looking at it. You have the FBI looking at it. The Bureau of Prisons themselves does an intensive after-action review. They call it a board of inquiry. And believe it or not, on suicides, they actually do a psychological reconstruction. So you have literally 4 avenues of attack to see what happened, and they will get to the bottom of everything.
How long does it take before they tell us?
Listen, I imagine everybody's been on site as far as the BOP goes. They've watched the videos, the range cameras. I'm sure it's all coming together. How soon the report gets out, how soon Washington releases it. You know, it's a little unusual that they're doing all this simultaneously. I believe the Inspector General's investigation and FBI investigation, you know, more like feeds the conspiracy narrative, and you know, which I'm not a fan of.
The longer it goes, it probably does.
Absolutely.
Do you think they've got their answer already, Jack?
Yes. Absolutely.
Then when do we know?
Sooner the better, seriously. Sooner the better. The speculation is running rampant. I'm trying to, you know, all week long, I'm hearing nothing but misinformation, innuendo. It all feeds conspiracy, and then, you know, that's not good.
I think you're right about that. Thank you, Jack. Good luck. Jack Johnson with us here in New York. Thank you, sir.